The table was already set when I arrived, linen pressed smooth, candles unlit, plates aligned with careful symmetry. It was the kind of table that promised conversation and laughter, the kind that asked people to gather and share what they were hungry for. But when I stepped into the dining room, before anyone else had arrived, the hunger I felt had nothing to do with food. She stood by the window, turning a wineglass slowly in her hands, the evening light cutting a soft halo around her dark hair. Ava always arrived early, as if she needed a moment to breathe before the world filled the room. She turned when she sensed me there, her smile familiar and dangerous in equal measure. "You're early," she said. "So are you," I replied, slipping off my coat. Our eyes lingered a second too long. We both noticed. This dinner had been planned for weeks, friends, shared stories, a celebration of nothing in particular. Yet beneath the polite invitation lay something unspoken, something that had been building between us since the first time our fingers brushed while passing a dish, since the first laugh we shared that felt like a secret. "Before anyone sits at the table," I thought, "things are always honest." Ava set the glass down and crossed the room. "I like the quiet before people arrive," she said softly. "It's when the house tells the truth." I nodded. "It's when we do too." The words surprised us both. Ava's smile faded into something more serious, more open. The air between us tightened, heavy with all the moments we hadn't named. We had danced around each other for months, careful, respectful, afraid of tipping something precious into chaos. From the kitchen came the low hum of the oven. Time moved slowly, thick like honey. "Ava," I began, then stopped. What was I about to say? That every time she laughed, my chest ached? That I noticed the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous? That sitting across from her at dinners felt like an entrance test? She reached out before I could find the words, her fingers brushing my wrist. The contact sent a quiet shock through me, gentle but undeniable. We both froze, as if the world might shatter if we moved too fast. "Before anyone comes," she whispered, "can we be brave for just a minute?" I swallowed. "Yes." She stepped closer. The space between us dissolved until I could feel her breath, warm and uncertain. I lifted my hand to her cheek, half expecting her to pull away. She didn't. Instead, she leaned into my touch, eyes fluttering closed. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, more a question than a declaration. Our lips met, parted, returned. It was slow and careful, as if we were learning a language we'd always known but never spoken aloud. The room seemed to hold its breath with us. When we pulled back, our foreheads touched. Ava laughed quietly, a sound that trembled with relief. "So that's been there," she said. "All along," I replied. We kissed again, this time with more certainty. Her hands found my waist. Mine slid into her hair. It wasn't rushed or hungry, it was warm, steady, full of trust. The kind of kiss that didn't ask for anything beyond the moment itself. A knock at the door shattered the spell. We jumped apart, breathless, hearts racing. Ava pressed her hand to her mouth, eyes bright. "They're early." I grinned. "Of course they are." We straightened the candles, smoothed the tablecloth, turned on lights that made the room glow. When the first guest stepped inside, laughter filled the space, the house transforming into what it was meant to be, a place of gathering. Throughout the evening, we played our parts. We passed dishes, refilled glasses, joined conversations. To anyone watching, we were just friends hosting a dinner. But beneath the table, Ava's knee brushed mine. When she handed me a plate, her fingers lingered just a second longer than necessary. Every glance carried meaning. Every smile felt shared. As the night went on, stories grew louder, candles burned lower. At one point, someone raised a toast to good food and even better company, and Ava's eyes met mine over the rim of her glass. My chest warmed. When the last guest finally left and the door closed behind them, the house exhaled again. Silence settled, comfortable and full. Ava leaned against the table, looking at me with that same quiet courage. "Before anyone sat at the table," she said, "everything changed." I stepped closer, resting my hands on the edge beside hers. "Maybe it was always waiting to." She smiled, soft and sure. "Stay?" I nodded. "Always." We didn't rush this time either. We cleaned up slowly, shoulder to shoulder, sharing easy laughter and comfortable pauses. And when the dishes were done and the candles burned out, we returned to the window where it had all begun. Our kiss then was deeper, sweeter, carrying the promise of mornings and more dinners, of choosing each other again and again. Outside, the city hummed, unaware that something quietly beautiful had just taken root. Before anyone sits at the table, there is truth. And sometimes, if you're brave enough, love speaks first. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next video.